Hey everybody, and welcome back, and welcome to all our new subscribers. We're still going at pace, so we're nearly 5,500. So I presume you're enjoying the videos. I certainly hope so. Past videos and videos to come. Finally got to 75 degrees today, but we're going to have in fact we're in the middle of a big storm now. I'm filming this in a little break in the rain. See, Jensen's project is coming along. Engine's still being a complete pain in the arse. This is the third of these covers we've tried on. Took this one off a B44 because it was the same part number as the TR25W, the C25. The B25 ones are a different shape. And the first one, could not get it to go on. Tried all sorts of things. Checked that everything was free and wasn't binding. Tried a different one and it went straight on. But that of course was a B25 one. It was slightly different shape. Anyway, that's gone together. So as you can see, it's coming along. The little red things are an OSHA requirement because he's 6'5". So actually when the wheels are turned a little, I can walk underneath them, but he can't. So that's coming along. So what are we going to do this week? We're going to start on the engine this week. But also there's a job to do and something to show you. So let's get on with it. Alright, as you can see, I've already got the engine out of the frame. So I'll start taking it apart, and the first thing we've got to do is that bit of alloy welding where there's a hole where I cut the what's the word I'm looking for, people? The starter motor off. I'm really having a bad day today. Do you know that little bit that you just watched, the introduction? I think I did that about 5 times. I got halfway through and I thought, sod it. Actually, I thought a little bit more than sod it. Anyway, first thing is, just to show you, I listened to people's comments. There was a couple, 2, maybe 3, mentioned that the saddle I made should have holes in the bottom to let the foam breathe, and when it's squished to let the air out. So don't say that I don't listen to you. There you go. Holes. Alright, everybody happy? Very good. Right, now the next thing is so that David Counton doesn't lose any more sleep. I told him I was making a change. I'll show you what it is. Right, here's the rain. Let's see if I can get this done. Now, a number of people didn't like the tube I had in here. And to be honest, every time I looked at it, I thought, you know, I don't like it myself that much. And then once I took the engine out, I thought it looked bloody awful. So I cut it out. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some gusset plates in. I'm even going to fancy them up. I'm going to cut a hole in there, put a piece of tube through. I like all these holes I'm drilling. They're very, very artistic. I felt lucky as well because this frame was done on the same jig as Jensen's. He'd made a template, a wooden template, to cut these out with the plasma cutter. So I just grabbed the template. It's a slightly different angle to his, but nothing that will be problematic. So that's going to go on there. So what we have to do now is mark here where the tube is, because that's got to be bent out to go around this, because this is 1.5 inches, this is 1.5 inches, but that's about 2 inches, I think, something like that. So that'll have to come out and go around there a little bit. So that's what we'll do. First off, we'll mark this, put a little bend in. What I'm going to do is bend it out, and then when this is all bronzed in, along there and along here, we can clamp this up, tap it round and get it bronzed onto there. So let's start by marking this and putting a bit of a bend in. There are my lines where I'm going to bend it, and there's the hole we're going to cut in, and I've tacked it together in 4 places so I can cut this out, and then I'll just grind those little tacks off, and I know that's the same on both sides. So let me go and get the hole saw and cut that out. There's the first one on. All I've done is cut the hole in it and then bent it at an angle to go up here. So I've just put that on with a couple of magnets. So that put this one on here and measure how long I need a piece of tube. And we're going to say 1 3/4 inches because I want it to stick out a fraction to do the weld. Now I don't think I want a hole, I think I want a tube, but we'll bronze these on and look at them, and I can poke a piece of tube in. If I don't like the look of it, then we just won't weld it in. So let me go and cut a piece of 1.5 inch tube, 1 3/4 inches long. Right now, hang on, let me switch this off. As you can hear, the rain's coming back on, so hopefully it won't get too heavy. What I'm going to do is put this on with a G-clamp and then put the piece of tube through to get ourselves lined up. I might use 2 G-clamps, I don't know. I might go mad and use 2 G-clamps. Why not? What do you think? Hole or tube? Oh, I think I like the tube. I'll do some measurements and I'll get it absolutely spot on. Hold on. And there's the gusset tin. I went with the hole and the tube. So that's all done. There's just a couple of little things like here and stuff on the back that I have to bronze up. So the frame is all done. I can get this old paint off and set to and get it painted. So now let's go and have a look at the engine. Right, now as you know, this is just an empty shell, if you like. There's no insides to it to make it easier to manhandle. So what we'll do is today, now that the welding's all done and the frame's finished, is take this stuff apart. Then I've got to clean it all, and then we'll lay out all the bits and pieces. So first thing we'll do is take off these inlet manifolds that I made. Oh look, looks as if I've been bleeding all over them. And then we'll start head down. Now I bought myself a manual and a parts book because it's a long time ago that I actually took this engine apart. So I've got trays and boxes full of bits. And although I can recognise BSA bits and what have you, I have no idea what the parts for this look like. So let's have a look, see, let's take get the head off. I do actually have a little stand for when I'm building the engine, for it to go under, but I didn't bother getting it out just for this. You know, even as I look at this engine with the valve adjusters at the end, I still don't know why BSA went to those eccentric things on the B25. You know, it's one of those, this has worked for the last 50 years, but it's not good enough for me. Anyway. I'm sure somebody will come up with a comment as to why they are technically superior to have them as on eccentrics. But hey, is all that extra work worth a little bit of improvement? That's always my thought. Now then, this is the same as the 753, of course, in that all the bearings, I think, if I remember rightly, are just held held in with circlips and things. We don't have any bearings to press out or heat out, so it's relatively easy to bead blast this. Okay, so there's the head. Lots of washers. Now, as you saw when I took it apart, the head has those sort of oil seal things, which I've been told to forget and just put thick copper washers on, so we'll look into that. Well, that was actually the rocker box. There's the head. Always run out of places to put things, hang on. There are the barrels. That was a large, there it is. Come on. A large dowel, I was going to say. Which went right in there. The bores look pretty good. We'll measure all this stuff when we've got it cleaned up. Check the piston ring gap, all that sort of stuff. Now you will remember, have I just mentioned this? I can't remember. We've got to do some alloy welding on the bottom from where we took... Yeah, I did. I mentioned it in the introduction, didn't I? We've got to do a little bit of welding here. I'm going to take that out because that's the drive from the starter motor. No, put any bolts in this? I don't see any. That little thing sticking out there is the dipstick. Studs. Ah, that could be a couple on the bottom there. Tell you what, let's take this sump off, shall we? Look, I'm getting dirty. So there's one hole I've got to do, and then when I take this gear out, there's another hole there. Oh, it looks as if there's one there as well. So there's a fair bit of welding to do there. Right, hold on a second while I get some spanners. Right, I think we're all set. Oh, that's in tight. Is that old age, or did somebody actually put it on that tight? So I will need another tool. Hold on. Okay, let's try a bit of pneumatic power. There we go. There we go. Bits of stuff stuck on that. We'll have to have a look around. Okay, the next thing should be this. There's only two of them holding that on. Saturday now, by the way. Our storm last night wasn't as bad as they said it was going to be. We had some thunder and lightning, and fair bit of rain, I think. It wasn't too much. Oh, will you look at that? Isn't that clever? There you see the chain is still in there. Right, so I'm thinking they're the only two nuts that I put on. We'll soon find out. But as always, if it doesn't move, don't force it. Well, that seems to be it. Oh, let me just check you can still see this. Yeah. I haven't got one of these fancy cameras like AG Engineering, with his thing with a little screen on. Getting very technical there, Aid. Chain's catching a little bit. What? Oh, look at that. Who left that nice piece of brass rod just there? Come on now. There we go. Now it's in the top half. Dipstick. My God, there's some bloody long studs on this. I don't want to bend them. Stand it up that way, which you're all saying you should have done that in the first place. There we go. The length of them. And look at that. Can you see that? Masses of thread. They obviously don't. So to make these so they have just enough thread to fit in, every one of them's got good 1/4 of an inch of thread. Alright, now then. As you see, we also still have 1 row of gears. There's that. There's the little clip that goes into the bearing and into there to hold it. And there's our gear change mechanism, so we'll have to take all this out so that we can give these cases a damn good clean. Alright, let's move this out the way and have a look, see what we need to do in the way of welding. Okay. So, where have we got holes? Got to take the kickstart mechanism off. Life of their own over there, falling over. There's another big plug. So, where are we? There we are. Alright, we have one hole there. We have the hole where that gear goes in. But also one I didn't notice is at the back. So I think what I'm going to do is this part here, I'm going to machine that off so all this is flat. We'll weld that one up, we'll weld this one up, and then I'm going to put a piece of plate inside there to completely close that off. It'll be a lot easier than trying to weld something inside there. So let's have a look at this here gear. Oh, I'm probably going to have to move you again, hang on. That'll probably do. That gear is there on this shaft. Huh. See what you can see. Alright, to put a little bit more light on the subject. So, this is the gear we want to take off. Now, it's on splines at this end. The splines at that end. But there's no way to get at this end to drive that shaft out. This is a completely solid boss. It's not a cap that I could take off. So I guess I'll have to have a little look in the manual to see about taking that off and see exactly what goes on. Hold on, what goes on that spline there. So let's have a look in the book. Now, I really don't see how I'm going to get this out of here. I guess it's one of these factory things, they put it in and they don't expect you to ever take it out. You know, they put that gear in, put the shaft in, they've got the case here, I suppose, to pop it up against, or they maybe have something that pulls it on. But, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it in. And what we'll do over this side here is, instead of just putting a plate in there when I've milled that flat, I'm going to put a little wall in and then the plate here, and we'll just box that in, and that seals up two holes in one go. This one we just put a little bit of plate over. So let me take the kickstart mechanism off so that I can lay it down flat. I need to get the spring off anyway. So I can lay it down flat on the mill and get that done. Alright, let's see how this comes off. Well, first thing is a circlip here. Get some little plastic bags out. Put things together for the minute. Now then. Kickstart, the bottom spring's in a little thing there. Don't want this to go off and bash me in the face. We all know the phrase, hey up, you'll have somebody's eye out with that. Actually, this all comes off. Wait a second, we have no need to take that circlip off there. I'm going to put that circlip back on. This whole thing just comes off. That's only if you want to dismantle the kickstart mechanism, which we don't. See, if I'd looked at the book, I would have known that, wouldn't I? go. And there it all is with this little sliding system. Right, put that to one side. Now then, you see, I can put this down. See that little plate there? That's what holds the gear on this end of the shaft. It's all very strange. Anyway, I can clamp that down now. And we'll just, see there's a lump there, a boss there. So I just want to mill that flat. Just make it a little easier to do this. And as I say, little plate to cover that one. I don't know if you saw this or whether you were out of shot, so I'll show you again. Let me see, where am I? Yep. This little plate here holds the gear wheel, the pinion, on the end of this starter shaft. All seems very odd. Anyway, next thing is to set up in the mill. I'm about running out of time. Let's see what we can manage. So here we are, set up in the mill. I've got this level there on these faces, so that's all good. Basically all we're going to do is take off the one piece here. So I'll come back, touch it off on this edge. I'm saying you can, yeah, I think you can see all that. On the back edge, and then we'll come forward, just take this piece off here. Okay, so that's just touching off. Lock that. I'm going to have to move you. I can't see what I'm doing and turn the handle at the same time. Alright, that should be better. Let me just vacuum this up. So what I've done is I've smoothed the back off and into here, so now I can just make a piece that comes out here and fills this piece in there. So let's make some cardboard templates. Now I've just had a little idea. Don't know if this will work, but I'm wondering exactly how tight to fit this wheel is on those splines. Now the wheel, the gear wheel, pinion, whatever, is slightly proud of the shaft, so I can't get a lever in on the shaft. So what I'm going to do, well, let me check around it. Let me put this up on a couple of parallels so I have some more space. That there. And that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a biggish ball bearing in there. So that's going to be on the top of the shaft. And that is now proud of the pinion. Now let's just see exactly how. Nah, it's tighter than. Yeah, it's pressed on tighter than I thought. Well, pressed on as tight as I thought it would be, but I thought, you know, it's worth giving it a little try. No, that's not moving. Alright, we'll forget that. I brought you back because I thought, I'll just give it one more little lever, and it just went boop, and there it is. Actually, can you see that? There's the little ball still on the end. So that must be how you get it in and out. Oh yeah, it's not that tight. It must have been just stuck that last little bit. All right, so now we can that makes things a lot easier. Where are you? Now I can just put a piece of plate in there, a little bit up and round there. Excellent! Well, that's only worked for once. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of alloy to go in there and a little piece to go in there. What I'm going to do is weld that piece onto the bottom piece first, because I can do it on the back of that, make a nice joint, and then we'll put that in and weld it all in, or at least that's the idea. So let me go and cut some alloy. Now then, here are my two pieces of alloy. Want to go in there like that. One curve to go in there like that. Must have been the other way up. There we go. I think I am going to weld them in there. I think it'll be easier to hold them. So let me get some tacks on and I'll come back. Alright, well, as you can see here and here, this has been a real pain. I've cleaned and cleaned it, so that's all I can keep doing is clean it again, grind it out, get the weld on. I managed to get the first bit done, but the rest of it is proven to be a complete pain. So that's as much as I can get done this week. So next week we'll get this finished and we'll start cleaning the engine and sorting through the bits and pieces. So until then, people, stay safe and enjoy yourselves.